Hi, I'm Lynda Hafner. I'm a top producing realtor at ERA Key Realty in Central Massachusetts. Today's video topic, we're going to talk about red flags to avoid when you are choosing a list agent. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you get a lot out of these videos, information that will empower you when you're thinking of buying and selling a home. Today's topic is about the red flags when choosing a list agent. This is something the normal home seller doesn't think about. They're completely unaware of some of the dangers that can be involved when choosing which agent to list, which is why I kind of want to bring your attention to just a couple of things. I wanted to make this video because there are so many list agents out there. It's not always easy for a normal home seller to really understand the difference between what makes a great agent and what makes an agent that is, may not be in your best interest if you're trying to get the highest price for your home. So the two biggest red flags that I really want to talk about are probably the two biggest temptations that as a home seller that you will have when you talk to more than one list agent. If you talk to more than one list agent and they each give you a somewhat different price, the temptation is to automatically go with the agent who gives you the highest price for your home. And what I would say is to just be careful with that approach. The reason is because you really want to evaluate the data for yourself. Look carefully at the homes they used as comparables to give you the price that they give you, because an inexperienced agent may use homes that really may not be a good comparable to your home. And I really think that you should be checking to make sure for yourself. It's the comparables that you use have to have similar square footage, similar style. You can't compare a ranch home with a colonial. A ranch home has a higher value because they have bare foundations. Foundations cost more per square foot to build, and it's one level living. There isn't as many one level living in Massachusetts for older people who prefer not to have as many stairs as they get older. So they have a tendency to have a higher price tag. Now, an experienced agent knows this, okay? Someone who dabbles in real estate, does it part-time on the side, not everyone is going to know this. So just fact-checked some of the information that they give you. I say to fact-check some of the data because I really think it's so important not to have unrealistic expectations, especially if you're using the funds from the sale of your home to purchase your next home. You really want that number to be reliable. So as well and good as it is to get this awesome number in the beginning, and you're all excited about that number, if they can't deliver that number and the house doesn't sell at the price you expect and you don't end up having as much money as you think, and you could end up running short on your next purchase, and that could be a nightmare. So just protect yourself and do a little bit more research than you might. Don't necessarily rush into that highest price philosophy, because I just would hate to see it bite you in the end. My goal as a list agent is to absolutely get my sellers the highest possible price. However, I still have to work within the parameters of the existing market. We've been in a seller's market for a very long time. I still expect that to continue just because of the lack of inventory, and we'll see how it plays out with the whole coronavirus thing long term. But right now, we are still in a seller's market. But buyers today are very savvy. They do their research. They have data at their fingertips. They have websites at their fingertips. They know much more so than in the past whether your home is priced correctly. So if you price it too high right from the beginning and it sits on the market, a lot of times that gives buyers the opportunity to use leverage to get you down in price, even lower than you would have had you started at a lower price. Because if you start at a low price, buyers are gonna be, woo, look at this price, and they're gonna all wanna come see the house and multiple offers. And then as a seller, you have the leverage in which you're picking and choosing which offer, and you can tell other people you have more than one offer, and that just drives the competition and the price up. So these are all things that you want to consider. I always recommend pricing right at market value or even just slightly below, which is, I know, counterintuitive to what most sellers want, but it works. It is a strategy that drives the price up, and it's a very effective one. So take all these things into consideration when you're choosing that agent. The second red flag that I see often is I hear how sellers are so ecstatic thinking they saved all kinds of money because they went with an agent who lowered their commission. Now, I get this question asked of me all the time: will you lower your commission? And most of the time, depending on the circumstances, I don't. And the reason I don't is because I know the value that I am bringing my clients. The responsiveness that I give my clients pretty much 24/7 before they list their house and all the way through the entire procedure is second to none, in my opinion. And that is not something I'm willing to discount. I know what I'm giving you. Different agents may not have that same confidence. They may not know what they bring to the table, or they may be so desperate for the listing that they're okay with lowering their commission. And that's their choice. But do you want someone who is not 100% confident with their commission? And also, if they can't even negotiate with you, the home seller, for their commission, how well do you think they're going to do negotiating the highest price for your home? These are all things that sellers don't typically think about. But I am going to challenge you to please think all these things through, because it really makes a lot of sense. The more important issue that you want to be concerned with as a home seller is that you are walking away with more money from the closing table than you would have with a different agent. That is the concern. Whether you pay 5% or 4% commission doesn't matter, as long as the 5% commission can get you more money through their negotiation skills, through their experience. That's what you want to look at, the whole picture. An important clarification I just would like to make with commissions is you want to understand that the list agent selling your home is not earning the entire commission, okay? Whatever commission you have to pay on your home, say on a $300,000 home, it's $15,000 at 5%, okay? $7,500 of that is going to go to the buyer agent who brings the buyer. The buyer agent will get that at the closing table, and they have to split that with their buyer broker. Same with the list agent. The list agent does not get the entire $7,500. That is broken down and split with the listing broker. So there's a lot of splits that happen. So even though as a home seller, it sounds like this phenomenal amount of money that you're spending on a real estate commission, and yes, it is the highest of all of the fees involved in selling. However, it's also the vehicle which gives you the most money, because we give you the exposure to the greatest number of buyers that you couldn't possibly reach We just have a greater capacity to do that for you. When you consider the worldwide ability that we have to reach buyers, the negotiation skills that we have been specifically trained for to get you the highest price, and the liability that we protect you from throughout the entire process, these are all things that take us as realtors years to really establish. So when you're paying that commission, you're not just paying, that one time to sell their home. You're paying for the experience that we offer you. So just to summarize, the two biggest red flags and the two most common mistakes I see people make is they go for the instant gratification of the flashy higher price and lower commission without taking all factors into consideration. So hopefully this video will give you a little bit more background knowledge so you can make wiser decisions for yourself. So after those two red flags and two common mistakes that I see a lot of home sellers make, the next thing is just really to figure out what questions to ask your list agent. I would most definitely ask, how many homes do they sell per year? How many home buyers do they work with per year? That's going to give you an idea of their problem solving capacity. Because one of the things home sellers don't realize is that pretty much every house that I sell or work with a buyer on has some issues, some problems to overcome from the offer to the closing. You go through the home inspection, you go through the appraisal, you go through the lending process, and there are little issues that come along. So someone who closes on a lot of homes is a really good problem solver. That is someone you want on your side. Okay, someone who's just selling a couple of homes on the year, you might want to be a little bit leery. They may not be able to handle the unique problems that come up with your home sale. These are all questions and things to think about. Lastly, I would just encourage you to go online and get as much information as you can on the agent you decide to go with, especially reviews. I don't know about you, but I will not buy anything unless I read the reviews. It's gotten so bad now to the point where I don't even want to go into Walmart and buy something unless I know what the reviews are, because I trust those, especially when there's many of them. If you're going with a list agent who doesn't have any reviews, that's a little bit of a red flag in itself, because that means they may not be doing the level of business to handle your biggest purchase, your biggest investment of your life. So, these are all things think about. Selling your home can be a stressful process. There are a lot of things that you don't expect that are going to happen, that pop up, that need to be handled. So you want to make sure that the agent that you choose is someone you like, someone you trust, someone you feel comfortable with, someone who can maybe take a little bit of that stress away from you so that you can live your life and let them handle, the sale of your house. Let them do what you don't need on your plate right now. So just one more thing I just kind of wanted to mention. My next video that I'm going to be making is going to talk about how to get the highest possible price for your home. What are the steps you can take as a consumer to get the highest possible price? I hope you'll join me. Thanks. Have a great day.